We have some major news right now that most media companies aren't talking about, and that's anti-Trump protests have broken out across Seoul, South Korea, and are scheduled to occur over the next week as Donald Trump is in East Asia for the major APEC summit. South Korean authorities are actually ramping up security as there are over 12 anti-Trump protests planned this week because of Donald Trump's tariffs. A total of 16 protest notifications have been filed by 13 separate organizations for the APEC Economic Leaders Week. And the organizing committee for the International People's Response Against APEC 2025, consisting of about 35 left-leaning political parties, are planning to hold massive rallies and press conferences in Seoul and other parts of South Korea on Wednesday and Friday as flagship events. Quote, "The whole world is unable to respond to Trump's ruthless tariff war and is being defeated one by one. We will march in international solidarity demonstration, chanting slogans such as anti-Trump." That's a quote from these organizers. Most media is not covering it. I will subscribe to support my work. Link in bio at my Substack. Follow along for more.
The majority of people in South Korea at one point were pro-Trump, but that all changed last month, and Donald Trump is on his way to Korea this week. And, well, the people, they don't want him here. These photos come from a mutual of mine, Yes in My Backyard, tagged below. Let's see what they're doing over there. Yesterday, an anti-Trump protest took place in the streets, and this is just a portion of it. You can see the photos. Trump has no place at APEC, no to Trump's visit. This is robbery, not negotiation. And still going through the protest, same thing. Also, that little robber guy, I love it, chef's kiss. And then across the rest of the city and everywhere else that Donald Trump is going to be visiting are these signs. Now, this has been translated from Korean to English for us, but you see $350 billion rejected investment in U.S. The people of Korea's economic sovereignty will protect you. Now, we know Donald Trump's second term is substantially different than his first term, and people, obviously, anywhere that he's gone this time in the world, with the exception of the Middle East, have held protests against him.
Trump visiting South Korea right now is wild to me, okay? Like, how do you even have the morale to go there after what happened with the Hyundai workers? Like, the same people whose lives were affected under your administration's trade tensions and company disputes. Like, these people have the right, have every right to protest, okay? You can't just show up for diplomacy when your past actions cost real pain. This isn't politics, guys. It's about, accountability. So let's watch together, okay? Let me know what you think. We'll come back after a while.
Trump is going to South Korea. Trump is going to be in Korea. And I usually don't even say South Korea, but with that man, you never know. And it's not going to be North Korea, even though he keeps trying to get in touch with Kim Jong-un, his favorite person. Kim Jong-un seems to be very uninterested in that. But Trump is going to South Korea, and he's bringing the governor of Georgia with him. Why is Governor Kemp going with him? Because we saw what happened down in Georgia with the Hyundai factory, where they illegally detained Korean workers who were here on business to build a factory for Americans to take over. For 8 days, they were detained, and it was such horrible conditions they left. This is what the president of Korea said about it recently.
Many in Korea were surprised because our workers who went to the United States to help the U.S. with its manufacturing renaissance received irrational treatment. This has also caused severe trauma for the workers as well, and I've heard that some workers do not want to go back. There is a high possibility that factory construction in the U.S. may be significantly postponed. These workers are highly trained and talented people, but the experience of being handcuffed and detained in a foreign country is not only traumatic and unbelievable for the workers, but also for their families.
Trump's response to this was to say, I was opposed to letting them out. They had it good before I let them out, but they left anyway. Now, this is a man in steep cognitive decline, so it's hard to understand what he's trying to say no matter what. But even without having a real language barrier, I did not understand what he was saying. I was like, is he trying to say that they had it good in that detention center? Because they reported human rights abuses. But no, he was trying to say something else. But if you're going to say something about a foreign country where there might be a language barrier, you want to be more clear. And this didn't help. I want to see Governor Kemp and Donald Trump screaming, crying, throwing up, begging, and groveling on their knees. I want to see that. Of course, it's not going to happen, but that's what Koreans expect. If you ever watched a K-drama that took place like in the before times, They're constantly screaming, crying, throwing up, begging, and groveling as a way to say, please, sir, help, please, please, please. That's the level to which Koreans expect you to grovel. I want to see it. I want to see it.
우리로서는 매우 불합리한 처우를 받았고
Many in Korea were surprised because our workers who went to the United States to help the US with its manufacturing renaissance received irrational treatment. This has also caused severe trauma for the workers as well, and I've heard that some workers do not want to go back. So, without taking measures to ensure the safety and rational treatment of these workers, there is a high possibility that factory construction in the US may be significantly postponed. These workers are highly trained and talented people, but the experience of being handcuffed and detained in a foreign country is not only traumatic and unbelievable for the workers, but also for their families. Unless we completely resolve this issue, I believe that they will not want to return.
Donald Trump's visit to South Korea has already been ruined as the people there are giving him the welcome he deserves. Now, if you didn't know, Donald Trump is headed to South Korea to meet with the leaders of China and discuss a possible trade deal. But upon Trump's arrival, he is going to be greeted by no Trump protests across the country. Take a look at this. This is everywhere in South Korea right now. No Trump protest, where they're not only protesting Donald Trump, but they're also mocking him. So we're going to have new material for Trump when this is over. But more importantly, they're protesting Donald Trump's negotiation tactics. They don't believe that these are trade negotiations. They believe that Donald Trump is trying to bully their country and essentially steal from them. And they're standing up where their leaders will not. And this is a continuation of what we've seen around the globe, in the UK, in Canada, here in the US. Donald Trump is being greeted exactly the way he should be. And we need to continue this, but then harness this energy and vote next November. But Donald Trump is going to be spitting ketchup later.
Donald Trump asked the press corps to help him get in touch with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un after he said, hey, we're going to be in South Korea anyways, and I really respect the guy and I would like to meet with him, but he has horrible cell phone service. So can you guys reach out to him and let him know I want to meet with him? He says that he has a lot of nuclear weapons, but he also has a lot of sanctions, and that's what I would offer him is fewer sanctions. So Donald Trump is now saying that he highly respects the North Korean dictator. He wants to meet with him, and he'll ease sanctions. Now, he didn't say what he wanted from North Korea in return for easing those sanctions, but it's likely that it's somewhere along their nuclear program. But Donald Trump being so misguided that he thinks that the press corps at the White House can get in touch with the North Korean leader when one of his 80,000 diplomatic staff can't, I'm not sure that this guy's in the right place anymore.
What's this? What, you see that? China state-controlled media. Well, this organization is out of Europe, but yes, I suppose they do a lot of Chinese takes, I suppose. But isn't this? I mean, look at it. It's very well organized. Look at all the signs that say no Trump. It's all very uniform. It's like what Trump would like to believe the No Kings rally was like, with printed signs. You know, you go to the printers on that one street, and then they like print out realistic magic marker looking things. Yes, well deduced, sir, I suppose. But wait, let's look at what does this mean? All right, what does this mean? Oh, thank you for answering my question. The government has control over editorial content. Well, okay. All right. Well, this is. Even if this was just, organized by someone and all that, just reporting on it, I mean, you could draw your own conclusions. I don't see the problem with this. I see. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Okay, company out of Europe with Chinese biases reporting on South Korea. Reporting on the South Korean protest over the American president. Well, all I've got to say is, little baby socialist here. And God forbid anyone in the Deep South in the 80s and 90s ever called me a commie, because they knew better. Even the Klansmen, because some of them read books. All that to say, I think it's, pretty reasonable, Clock App, that you give me one of these. I want a China state-controlled media little thingy with information on it. Can I have one? Because you probably think I'm a dirty communist, a dirty copy. Which, the first time I got called that, I squealed with a little bit of glee, because they had no idea what they're talking about. But it was just nice to be included. Can I get one? Just let me know. I'll be here. Just let me. I'll make some subversive stuff if you need me to. I mean, actual subversive. Well, yeah, subversive stuff. Just give me a chance. Give me a chance. Okay.
This is Georgia Governor Brian Kemp.
And I'm First Lady Marty Kemp.
We're excited to be back in Korea to celebrate a 40.
What you meant to say, Brian, is you're here to save a 40-year partnership, because Korea has yet to send back a single worker to Georgia. And that raid on the Hyundai plant was over 90 days ago now. Georgia, you were so worried about a couple jobs being taken by immigrant workers that now you have no jobs. And I can tell you, I watch the Korean news. They're not coming back. The Korean people are livid, and it is still leading the local and nightly news in Korea every night with the images of their people being shackled and chained and put on those buses. Their best and brightest engineers that you guys thought, oh, I can do this. And this is the story of being a conservative in America, where you always cut off your leg instead of giving somebody else a shoelace. You guys are ruining relationships around the world that will never get back.
Donald Trump just finished his meeting in the Oval Office with the president of South Korea. And tell me why the president of South Korea is in the Oval Office telling Donald Trump, you're a peacemaker and I want you to help me and North Korea get along.
I would like to mention that the only remaining divided nation in the world is the Korean Peninsula. And I would like to ask for your role in establishing peace on the Korean Peninsula. So I look forward to your meeting with Chairman Kim Jong-un and construction of a Trump Tower in North Korea and playing golf at that place.
He sat there and listed all the things that Donald Trump has done. And he said the only divided nation that's left is North and South Korea. And I want you to help me because I know that you have a good relationship with Kim Jong-un. And I don't. So can you please help me? And Donald Trump is like, heck yeah, I'm going to help you. That is leadership. There is no one better at making peace deals than Donald J. Trump. God bless America.
And the battery plant raided in Georgia, the South Korean battery plant that got raided, it's worse than we even thought. Look at this. Look at this. They were going to be producing 500,000 batteries for electric and hybrid vehicles. And now other companies are thinking about pulling out of investments in the United States of America. Yes, one person is the one who reported this, but it's the other clowns that rounded up these people. And by the way, South Korea, this is all over South Korea news. It's all over the world. This is an international crisis. And they are now saying that there was human rights violations and showing news of these people being in chains and all kinds of bad stuff. This could potentially lose more industries coming to the United States of America. I have reported that Subaru is leaving, that a $50 million plant in Detroit is scrapped after 3 years of planning. Marvel is pulling. This is going to be catastrophic. When you elect somebody who is hateful, sexist, a bigot, gone bankrupt 6 times, and then he brings in a circus, what do you think we're going to get? This is going to take years or decades, if ever, to recover from. Do you agree?
Mr. President, thank you for doing this.
Are you and President Trump going to be able to sign a trade deal while he's here in your country?
이성적으로 충분히 납득할 수 있는 합리적인 결과에 결국은 이렇게 될 것이다 라고 믿습니다.
But there are voices in the United States who say this is tantamount to a mafia shakedown, that it's extortion to be asking close allies to pay up or else the tariffs are going to get jacked up through the roof. Where do you stand on that issue?
결국은 이성적으로 납득할 수 있는 합리적 결론에 이르게 될 것이다. 우리는 동맹이고 상식과 이성을 가진 존재들이니까요.
Given that you have President Trump coming to your country, do you believe that a meeting will happen between President Trump and Kim Jong-un?
북미가 전격적으로 만날 수 있다면 전적으로 환영하고 적극적으로 지원할 생각입니다.
If Marshal Kim is listening to this interview right now, what's your message to him?
만나고 대화하는 것이 지금까지 쌓여있는 많은 문제들을 해결하는 첫 출발점이 될 것이다. 매우 유익한 기회가 될 거다. 이렇게 얘기하고 싶습니다.
So, family, it's crazy how some people think they can just move on like nothing happened. But the truth is, when you hurt people, they remember, okay? And South Korea just showed the world exactly what, how they feel about Donald Trump. Anyways, if you like this video, please make sure you give the video a thumbs up. And of course, drop your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. So see you guys in my next video. Bye.